Because they think they have time. They think they can do this tomorrow. They think, this could be around a year from now, so they can start. And not that it's not, but you do not know if you will be here tomorrow. You are on loan time from our God. You're not here on this earth to say, I will be here a year from now. We don't know that. And as a leader, you have to have the mindset to say, I am doing it now. I'm tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of having my life and my family live the way they're living. It's about time that I start to move forward. It's about time that I start to move in a direction where it's going to change my life forever. And a lot of people avoid this. Why? Because they like to procrastinate. And I'm telling you one thing. There's never been a convention for procrastinators that fills arenas. Why? Nobody shows. There's never been a company with procrastinators that are going to be successful. Why? Because people are always waiting. There's never going to be a company that is going to be in the top 100 with procrastinators. Why? It's just not going to happen. And the idea of procrastinating, if that's what you like to do, it's going to hold you up forever. And here's the issue, and the biggest issue of all. Guess what, my friends? When you finally realize that you have to move forward, when you finally realize that you have to move in a direction that is different, when you finally realize that you have to push so you can be successful, you're going to realize you lost the time in between, and you'll never get it back. You lost the opportunity. Let's just say you waited a year. You're going to figure out you lost a year of being successful. You lost a year of making a great income. You lost a year of, just making or feeding your family better. You lost a year. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think they have time and they're willing to wait. I don't have your time. For a lot of you don't know my story. 2010, in February, I was diagnosed with gastric cancer phase 4. On top of that, I had 2 malicious tumors between my heart and my lungs. I had diabetes. I had high blood pressure. I had a lot of things. My bones were aching. It's like everything that could go wrong was going wrong. But the key fact is that at that point, I was launching a company that a lot of people, a lot of leaders like yourselves were following me into this company and believing in me. I was a single dad at that time. And guess what happened? They're telling me I have 6 months to live. What would you do if you're told you have 6 months to live? Would you do things that are different now? Would you realize that life is not as you want it and plan, so you can plan 3-4 years ahead? Do you realize that now it's either you do it or you don't? Time? When I was told I had gastric cancer, when I was told I was going to die in 6 months. This was February of 2010, my friends. When I was told I was going to die in 6 months, guess what happened? I did not take radiation. I did not take chemo. I did not take medication. I did not take nothing, because every single one of those was going to put me to sleep. Was going to put me slow. Was going to put me in a position where I could not grow as fast as I needed to grow. And at that moment, I had a desire, a flame, a burning feeling that I had to accomplish within 6 months before I passed success. I looked at it and I walked out of that hospital and kept walking into a park, and I said to myself, God, if you're giving me 6 months, help me be as healthy as possible for 6 months so I can make sure my family has an income when I leave. So my kids will be fine when I leave. So my leaders who depended on me will be fine when I leave. You have to realize something that is powerful. That when you have a time frame, when you learn that God gives you and you figure out that you only have a certain amount of time within you. See, most of us don't know that. Most of us don't know if you'll be in a car accident tomorrow and God forbid you pass. Most of us don't know if a stone falls from I don't know where and hits you in the head and then you pass. You do not know how much time you have. And I realized that at that moment. I realized that I had the luxury of knowing I had 6 months. Luxury. See, a lot of you will think and cry and in pain and say, you know what, I'm going to die. I'm going to die now. I have cancer. I have this. I have that. Guess what? A lot of you would have killed over. Would have said, gone to bed. Would have been crying. Would have been feeling sorry for yourselves. I decided not to do that. I decided to move forward. I decided to move in a manner that I've never moved in my life because I had to make it happen. I decided not to sleep like I usually slept. I decided to work more than I ever worked. I decided to do what I wouldn't do before. I decided that if I have 6 months more of time, I'm going to make the best 6 months possible so my family would have the residual income to protect them the rest of their lives. So my leaders who followed me into this company would have the company of their lives, and they'll be fine the rest of their lives. But you have to decide, if you had 6 months more of life, what would you do different? If you're taking notes right now, write down, what things would you do now if you knew you were going to die? What things would you do now if you know you had a week, a month, 6 months? What would you do different right now to help your family, to help your kids? What would you do right now? Because that was my pain. My children were my pain. I was a single dad. Who were my kids going to stay with? Who was going to feed them? Who was going to take care of them? This was real pain. If you were to pass today, if you were to die today, are your kids going to be fine? Who's going to feed your kids? Are you going to be okay? Are they going to be fine the rest of their lives without you? Think about it. See, if you're having issues with your network marketing business and you are not at the minimum a sapphire, if you are not at the minimum, a ruby, guess what? You're not playing the game. You're not paying attention. You're not pushing hard enough. You're not letting yourself move to a position where you can literally take this to the next level. What you're doing right now is letting your family hurt if something happens to you. You're letting your family be in pain if something were to happen to you. You're letting your kids be hungry if something were to happen to you. Don't be comfortable. Don't procrastinate. It is time to move forward. There's a lot of leaders out there that claim a lot of things. And in this industry, I've learned there's a lot of people who stand in front of rooms and tell you they are 7-figure earners, they're 8-figure earners, or sincere, they're diamonds, or they're whatever. You have to be able to ask to see documentation of whoever you're following. Because if you do not ask documentation of the people you follow, guess what's going to happen, my friends? You will end up hurt at the end. You will end up losing time at the end. You will end up losing momentum at the end. See, I see a lot of people out there that teach network marketing the wrong way. And when they do that, they hurt people because people believe that's the right way to doing it. And guess what happens? They slow down. when somebody comes up to you and says, I'm a professional, make sure they have documentation to prove it. I want to see who they are, what they are, before I listen. There's a lot of people who want to stand in front of a room, and I've been approached by giants, speakers of the industry of public speaking. I mean, people that you probably heard of and you probably know. I've been approached by people who are huge in this industry of public speaking. And they want to do a conference for us, and they want to see if we can hire them for that and pay them sometimes millions of dollars. And I say no. Not because I don't like who they are or what they stand for, but I usually ask this simple question. Have you ever made money in network marketing? Have you ever lived in shoes that I have lived through? Have you stepped in the same footprints that I've climbed? Have you done what it takes? Not only to take yourself to the top of that success mountain, but to be able to not only stay and swing your flag having success, but being able to crawl all the way back down the mountain so you can help others find their way up. Have you done that? See, I've had a lot of speakers, and they tell me, and these are famous speakers, famous names, they've said, well, I've never done network marketing, but I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm good at what I do. That's not good enough. I can't put you in front of my room talking about stocks and bonds, or talking about, Forex or something else that it's not in our industry, it's not us. I can't have you speaking about, real estate when that's not our industry right now in network marketing. So how are you going to teach my network marketers how to do network marketing if you've never done it? See, always ask for the documentation of anybody who wants to guide you in any way. If it's an uncle and tells you, I know how to be a millionaire, okay? Show me the documentation, uncle. Show it to me. Because we all have these people in our family too. We all have the people who say, I know how to get to millions. And guess what? They've never done it. They've never been there. They've never earned it. If I'm going to follow somebody to $1 million, guess what? I'll follow people to $1 million. I've sat with great people and spoken with great people. One of them that I was lucky to be able to sit with was Oprah Winfrey. Now, why is she so important? Why would I listen to her? Because she's a billionaire with documentation. You think I'm going to open my mouth, be an 8-figure earner? No. I'm going to sit there, I'm going to listen, I'm going to take everything in because she's a billionaire. And she has the documentation to succeed. So you got to understand that when you listen to people, make sure they have the documentation. Sometimes you know everything that you need. Sometimes you may feel you know everything to get you to diamond. Sometimes you know everything that takes you to diamond. Sometimes you've heard presentations, you've heard my trainings, you've heard, you've been in my seminars, wall to wall with people. You've been there and you've taken the notes. And guess what? If you have the paper filled with notes as you're taking today and you never take action, if you're sitting on a railroad track, you will get run over, even if you know how to get to the destination. You will get run over to a position that, guess what? Becomes nil, nada, nothing. If you just sit there and wait. So if you know where you are going, what is your destination? Where are you heading in your vision? What are you doing to get you to the next position? What are you doing? Are you just sitting there listening to soap operas? Are you sitting there just talking to the neighbor about dumb things that don't belong in your mind? Gossip may be fun, but I'm not going to take or partake in that time because it's going to lose some time. I'm going to lose time, valuable time that I'll never get back. See, one thing that you have to understand, time is valued more than even gold. Time is valued more than $1 million. Time is valued more than anything tangible around the world. Why is that? Because you can always get the dollars back, you can always get the gold back, you can always get the cars back, you can always get a house back if you lost a house, but you can never regain time if you lost the time. If you just sit there on the track, you will get run over by a train or somebody else who is moving for their success, and you will get lost in the back. When you know, now that you know some of this information that I'm telling you, what will you do? Would you do things that are different now than you did before? Would you move in a different direction now that you have not? Would you do things now that you wouldn't have done before because, heck, you had time? It is important that you move forward. It is important that you move the destination that you wanted to. It is important that you get to where you need to get, that success mountain. You need to be at the peak, at the top. You need to have the biggest ranks. You need to make the biggest money. You need to find yourself. And I'm telling you what right now. One thing that I hold in my heart every single day. One thing that I look at every single day when I wake up, what I feel, what I do, where I'm heading. A lot of people say, well, Armand, you're already successful. Guess what? I'm successful. I might have a nice home, I might have nice cars, I might have a phenomenal lifestyle, but guess what? I'm not done. You must have a vision board with where you want to go every single day, and repeat it every single day, and check off every single day. And at the end of the year, look and say, guess what? I'm going to be checking off all these things I did during the year. You must have a vision board in where you are going. Guess what? I want you to understand. You are set to create as much wealth as you want to create. You are set to change your life as far as you want to change your life. But you need to move. You need to help others. You need to look at your vision board. You know, the very first time I did a vision board, I drew everything I wanted, and I wrote everything I wanted, I did everything I wanted, and then I was happy with what was on my vision board, and I was starting to succeed in my vision board, and guess what? I ran into people that had a vision board also, and I looked at their vision board and I said, what? You have that on your vision board? To me, I looked at my vision board and I said, what am I doing? What am I playing with? What am I looking for? What am I going to do? It's just nothing compared to theirs. And I started editing my vision board. I started moving to what I want. My desires started going up. I started saying, I am going to create more. Every single one of you who are here needs to start putting down notes on our piece of paper. Guess what? You know, cut pictures out of magazines. I don't care what it is. What kind of vehicle you want to drive? What kind of home do you want? What kind of lifestyle do you want for your kids? What do you want to do? It's okay if you put 3 houses. It's okay if you put 5 houses. It's okay if you put 7 vehicles. But guess what? Work for it. Don't just sit there. Don't just sit there on the track. Work for it. Become who you're supposed to become. Become the great person that you're supposed to create. The more you sit there and wait, the more success is waiting for you, the longer it is. Now I'm going to tell you one thing. Success is going to get tired of waiting at one certain point. It's not going to wait no more. If you keep people from waiting, if you kept me from waiting, for example, if we had an appointment and you keep me waiting all the time, there's going to be a point where I'm not going to wait no more. Success is the same way. If you keep making success wait for yourself, it's going to come to a point that God says, you don't really want success. You're happy where you're at. Then you dug your own hole. So every single time you look at where you're going, what you're going to do, make sure that you're creating the success that you want to create for everybody. Remember, top network marketers may be found at the top of the pay plan mountain. I've always been a leader that's been on the top of the top earner of every single company I've been at. Not every single one, I apologize, but most. But for me, it's always been about coming back down to the foot of the mountain and helping others get to the top. Not just waving my flag at the top of the summit. I'm only saying, I made it. And pointing a finger at you guys on the bottom. No. We're here to help you get to the top. But, and here's the but. And it's a very big but. I know that's funny. But here's how it goes. If you do not move, I will not wait. I have other people to help to the top. If you do not move, success will not wait. If you do not move forward, success will just say you didn't want it. So you have to make a decision today. And where you want to see, get that vision board, and where you want to see in 5 years your family. Where do you want to see your children? Where do you want to see your parents? Where do you want to see yourself? What do you see yourself doing? You start learning to live by dreaming and accomplishing the dreams. See, every single dream that God gives you in the middle of the night, those wonderful dreams, every single one of them are possibilities. And the moment that you take one of those dreams and you put a time frame to it, by the time you're going to accomplish it, it becomes a goal. Every dream that you make a goal and you put it on your vision board, you have to start working for it. It's never going to drop down from the sky for you. See, a lot of us pray every night and says, God, please help me. God, please help me. God, please help me. See, God's not going to put things in front of you just because. But He will give you the tools for you to succeed and put you in a direction, in the right road, probably with the right company, with the right people, so you can accomplish that success. But if you decide not to work, success will get tired of waiting. So you have to keep that in mind every single time. Also, every single one of us who are here, you have to learn to smile. We're all born with beautiful smiles. We're all born with a greeting to other people. It's just a real smile, an honest smile. See, a lot of people don't smile because their life is not on the track they want to be at. But even if you're not, learn to smile. And I'm telling you one thing, you want to attract people that smile? People that smile are happy. People who smile are having success. People who smile will go, they are mentally already set to have success. Why? Because they're not living in the position you're living, in hurt, in pain, in hunger. in weight. People who smile are happy. And I'm going to tell you one thing. You want to attract happy people? You want to attract smiling people? You must learn to smile. You must learn to take it to the next level and smile and learn and fix those muscles within your cheeks and says, I am going to smile every time. Hi, how are you? Because if I come in and try to prospect you and I don't have a smile, I'm not going to listen to you. I don't want your problems. I don't want your issues. I don't want your lifestyle. But if you come approach me with a smile, we can have a long conversation. I can listen to everything you want to say. Why? Because a smile will open the doors where a frown will shut it. I personally don't see borders around the world. A lot of people think that because I'm in Africa, because I'm in Asia, because I'm in Latin America, because you're in the United States, success is different. The opportunity is worldwide. The opportunity is wherever you want to be. The opportunity will help you get to the destination you want to get to, no matter what or behind what border you're at. It all takes want. It all takes desire. It all takes work. But put yourself in a position where you will move in a direction that you will have success. And don't blame the border or the country or wherever you're at, because I have people growing all over the world. In a place, people call it third world nations, and they're diamonds at this moment. They're earning, 20 to 40,000 a month. But they're in those positions because it did not allow that a border, that if you look from the skies, if you look at the earth from the distance, from the heavens, from God's eye view, there's no borders. There's no lines. You don't see any of that. All you see is one beautiful world, which we all live in. So, as I finish this, I want to remind you, what is the problem with your network marketing business right now? And write it down. What is the problem with your network marketing business? And I'm going to give you your answer. You think you have time. See, when I go back to the story, 10 years ago, actually 10 years ago to the date I was supposed to have died. Okay? I was supposed to die in the month of August of 2010. I realized that time is more valuable and more precious than anything else on this earth. I learned that I cannot stop no matter what. As a matter of fact, I didn't even sleep. I would fall asleep, obviously, because I was tired, but I would be afraid of going to sleep because I thought I would not wake up tomorrow. It was a real fear. And when I would fall asleep, it's because my body would just give up and fall asleep. But as soon as I would wake up and figure out that I was asleep, I would not go back to sleep. I learned to sleep very minimal hours. I learned to push like I've never pushed before. I put 96,000 miles on a Infiniti M45 that I was driving at that time, brand new. Because we just needed to get to work. And we drove anywhere we needed to drive. We did anything that we had to do. Now, people ask me, how did you survive? I had people that believed in me. I had teams of people who would give themselves, if I were to fall over into the sea, they would dive in for me. Because I've shown them success. I've shown them that we can accomplish things. They trusted me. They love me as I love them. Now, a lot of you who are asking, what happened, Armand? How come you're still alive today? Well, I was working with a beautiful young lady at that time. Her name's Dr. Esther Ramos. And that's the only person I told my situation about. The only one. No other leader knew. Nobody else. As a matter of fact, I was 425 pounds. That's 210 kilo at that time. On top of all that stuff that I had. And she came up to me and says, because I told her everything that's happening, she goes, I'm not going to let you die. She started bringing plants from around the world, and she started crushing things and making powders and all this stuff. And I said, I don't want to eat that. That tasted horrible. Wherever that was, it was like licking rocks from the sea. But I understood one thing. This person was trying to do everything in her power to make sure that I was not going to die. And I was not going to disrespect her in any way. Not only that I love this woman, but she decided to jump in a car from that moment in February of 2010 with me and go everywhere I wanted to go to make sure that she was spoon-feeding me this powder that she made and put into a Ziploc bag that was a gallon size. And she was spoon-feeding me this stuff once in a while. 6 months came around. We were successful. We were doing over $100 million in sales in that business. My team was happy. I lost a lot of weight because we were just that successful. I mean, people were going like, Armand, what are you doing? So I'm telling you, Esther's tea is phenomenal. But I was not just taking the tea. I was taking this powder that it was helping me. People didn't realize that what I had, that I was supposed to die in August of 2010. August came around. September came around. October came around. December came around. January came around. Another year came around. I was always afraid, and people were saying, you look great. What are you doing? You look phenomenal. See, I was looking better, but I wasn't stopping. I didn't know if I was going to die tomorrow. I kept going. I said, I'm going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And every day you push. And every day you push. And every day you push. And you don't sleep. You push.